Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today, we will unpack the absolutely insane Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for Thursday, May 7, where Dylan faces a massive blackmail threat from Remy Hope, finally reaches her breaking point with Steffi, and Brooke tries to fake a truce with Katie. And let me just start by saying my brain is absolutely fried from trying to process the sheer audacity of these characters right now, because the drama is just nonstop. So let's jump right into the design office, where Dylan is currently living her absolute worst nightmare. We all saw the moment Remy Price stepped out from behind that dress rack wearing a long dark wig, which is just peak soap opera ridiculousness, but it is also genuinely terrifying for Dylan, because she shrieked. She was absolutely horrified, and honestly I would be too, because Remy is not just some random stalker calling with a voice scrambler, he is her cousin. And he is the guy who tortured Elektra Forster with those horrible deepfake photos. So now he is standing there in his creepy disguise and he is dropping a massive bomb on Dylan. But it gets worse. Because Remy is not just there to say hello and catch up on family gossip. He is there to collect. He literally looked Dylan in the eye and reminded her that he pulled the strings to get her that art teacher position. And now he wants a favor in return, which is just classic toxic family manipulation. And I absolutely hate it for Dylan. Because she has been trying so hard to be a good person lately. She literally just made the heartbreaking decision to move out of Will Spencer's beach house to preserve their friendship and to do the right thing by Elektra. And now she is being dragged right back into the mud by her own blood. So Remy tells her what he wants, and you are not going to believe the sheer delusion of this man. He wants Dylan to help him reconcile with Deke Sharp. Yes, you heard me right. Remy wants to get back with Deke, and he wants Dylan to be his little matchmaker. He actually wants Dylan to convince Deke that he is a good guy at heart. A good guy. The man who created deepfake revenge porn to destroy a young woman's life thinks he is a good guy at heart. And I am just sitting here screaming at my screen. Because how disconnected from reality do you have to be to think that is going to work? But Remy is serious. And he is leveraging Dylan's entire life against her. Because if she doesn't help him, he's going to expose the fact that her past is deeply intertwined with Elektra's deepfake tormentor. So, Dylan is in a massive bind, and she obviously has some huge concerns about this plan. Because how on earth is she supposed to look Deke in the eye and lie for Remy? But Remy is pushing her. He keeps reiterating that they are family, and that she owes him. And you know how family guilt works. It is a powerful weapon. So Dylan might actually cave in, or at least she is going to agree to think about doing what he asked of her. Because she is terrified of Elektra finding out the truth. Especially now that Elektra might actually forgive her for the Will situation and become true friends with her again. Dylan is trapped, and I genuinely don't see a way out for her that doesn't involve everything blowing up in her face in the most spectacular way possible. And just when you think the tension in that design office couldn't get any thicker, we are going to get a massive close call, because guess who's walking down the hallway? Daphne Rose Walton. And Daphne is looking for Dylan, so imagine the sheer panic. Dylan is standing there with her psycho cousin who is wearing a ridiculous wig. And Daphne is calling out her name from around the corner. It is going to be pure chaos. Dylan is going to have to scramble. She will probably have to shove Remy into a closet or shove him under a desk or just kick him out the back door in a frantic hurry. And I live for this kind of clumsy high-stakes physical comedy mixed with dark blackmail. It is just so messy. But let's talk about Daphne for a second, because Daphne is not just wandering the halls for fun. She has a specific reason for tracking Dylan down on Wednesday's episode. It turns out Daphne has a proposal for Dylan to consider, and I am so incredibly curious about what this is, because Daphne has been going through absolute hell lately. She just had that heartbreaking negative pregnancy test with Carter. She is facing a potential infertility roadblock, and she just had to do the hardest thing ever by exposing Ivy's massive manipulation to Elektra. So Daphne needs a win. She needs a distraction from her own sad reality. And I am thinking this proposal has to be something professional. Maybe some sort of perfume project or a collaboration. Because Daphne knows Dylan is talented. And Daphne wants to build something positive right now. So she is going to work hard to get Dylan on board with her plan. And honestly, I think Dylan should jump at the chance. Because working closely with Daphne might be the only thing that keeps her sane while she is dealing with Remy's insane blackmail demands. But Dylan is going to be so distracted, and I just know Daphne is going to sense that something is off. Because Daphne is smart. She is going to notice Dylan acting weird and jumpy. And that is going to lead to even more questions down the line. So while all that chaos is happening in the design office, we have a completely different kind of explosion brewing in the CEO office. And I am talking about Hope Logan Spencer. Because Hope has finally reached her absolute breaking point, and it is about damn time. I am so completely Team Hope in this situation. Because Steffi Forrester Finnegan and Ridge Forrester have been treating her with zero respect. Hope has asked them multiple times for a launch date for the Hope for the Future relaunch. And they just keep dodging her, they refuse to give her a straight answer, and Hope is just done. She is fed up, and her frustration is boiling over into straight up rage. And I don't blame her at all, because Steffi is walking around with this massive chip on her shoulder. Steffi thinks she is the absolute queen of Forrester Creations, and she is letting her personal hatred for the Logan family completely dictate her business decisions. Because we all know this isn't about the numbers. This is about Steffi being furious over Deacon and Taylor, and Steffi taking it out on Hope. So Hope marches into that CEO office, and she confronts both Steffi and Ridge, and she lays it all on the line. She literally says she needs to know if she has a place at this company, and if not, then... And of course, Steffi, with her typical arrogant smirk, looks at Hope and says, then what? Because Steffi completely underestimates Hope. Steffi thinks Hope is just a whiny little girl who will eventually fall in line. Steffi thinks Hope has nowhere else to go, but oh boy is Steffi wrong. Because Hope is sitting on a massive secret. Hope has a very lucrative offer on the table from Katie Logan Spencer. Katie wants Hope to be the next big thing at the new Logan fashion house. And Liam Spencer even pitched the idea of bringing in Deke Sharp as Hope's new designer. So Hope has options, huge options, and Steffi has absolutely no idea what is coming for her. But Hope is smart. She is probably going to decide to keep that Logan offer to herself for now. She is dropping hints. She is testing the waters. She wants to see if Steffi and Ridge will actually step up and show her some respect. But we all know they won't, because Ridge is too busy enabling Steffi, and Steffi is too busy being a tyrant. So Hope is just gathering her ammunition, and I am literally counting down the days until Hope drops the bomb and announces she is quitting Forrester. Because the look on Steffi's face is going to be absolutely priceless. Steffi is going to explode, and Carter Walton already warned them. Carter told Ridge and Steffi that a storm is brewing, but they didn't listen, and now they're going to pay the price. And speaking of the Logan family drama, let's talk about Brooke and Katie. Because this sister feud is reaching a boiling point. Brooke has been absolutely awful to Katie lately. Brooke tried to force Katie to drop the Logan name. Brooke and Ridge have been fuming over Katie using Eric Forrester's designs. And Katie has just been defiantly ignoring them and building her empire. Because Katie is the boss, and Bill Spencer is standing right by her side, supporting her. But now, suddenly, Brooke wants to play nice. The spoilers say Brooke is going to reach out to Katie and hope they can take a step toward a truce. Brooke is going to bring a peace offering to Katie, but let's be real here. I do not trust Brooke's motives for a single second, and neither should Katie. Because Brooke only wants peace when things are going her way. Brooke is probably realizing that Katie is actually succeeding. The mini collection debut was a huge hit. The press loves it. And Brooke is probably terrified that Katie is going to overshadow Forrester Creations. So Brooke is coming over with this fake olive branch. But she is probably going to keep taking little passive-aggressive jabs at Katie while she does it. Because that is just what Brooke does. She cannot help herself. She always has to feel superior. And Katie's no fool. Katie's going to heavily doubt that Brooke is being sincere. Katie knows that Brooke thinks the world revolves around her. And Katie's obsessed with her new vision. Katie's leaking plans to Donna about poaching Hope, which is making Donna absolutely terrified that the family is going to be torn apart forever. But Katie doesn't care. Katie is focused on the future. And even if Brooke and Katie manage to establish a tiny bit of peace during this conversation, it is all going to be completely destroyed the second Hope ditches Forrester for Logan. Because that is the ultimate betrayal in Brooke's eyes. Because when that happens, Brooke is going to lose her mind. Brooke is going to accuse Katie of stealing her daughter. Ridge is going to accuse Bill of sabotage. It is going to be an all-out corporate and family war. And I am here for every single messy second of it. Because these characters just cannot help themselves. They are driven by ego and jealousy and deep generational trauma. And it makes for the best television ever. So we just have to stay tuned. Because the fallout from all of this is going to be legendary. Hope is going to announce some massive career news sooner or later, and the entire fashion industry is going to shake. And honestly, I just want to see Steffi humbled. I want to see Steffi realize that she pushed Hope too far, because Steffi has been acting like she owns the world, and Hope is finally standing up for herself. Hope is insisting that Brooke deserves more respect. Hope is insisting that Brooke should be co-CEO instead of Steffi, and that is just music to my ears. Because the power dynamic at Forrester Creations needs a massive shakeup, and Hope walking out the door might be the exact thing that triggers it. So grab your popcorn, guys, because the next few weeks are going to be absolutely wild. And I will be right here breaking down every single awkward encounter, every hidden wig, and every corporate screaming match, because this is the drama we live for.